I'm going to share with you guys my kitchen cabinet painting experience. Never done this before, just kind of winged it online. I looked at a few tutorials and just people doing different stuff, and I researched, and this was the color that I found. I'm not sure if I'll put it up on the screen here, but found some person that did it and gave it like a weathered look, kind of like the gray with the black kind of streaks and stuff in that and the greens. I was going to try and mimic that. This is the current color. Nothing too fancy, just this, whatever you call this color, kind of the standard color in the house of this age, like a 05-ish house, or, 2000s era house. So what I did was I taped off around the floor, and you can see I've just started painting. I'll share with you guys the color and stuff. I'll link it down in the description below. It's a gray color. And then we have, I'll show you guys once I get it out, but we have like a black stain that I'm gonna try to give it the weathered look, and then I have a clear coat that we're gonna maybe throw on top. We'll see how far I get or how she looks, but so far it's looking pretty good. You guys didn't miss too much. All I did was I started taking, of course, the cabinets off, just a Phillips screwdriver. Get yourself a drill if you don't already have one. Put on a drill. It just makes life a whole lot easier just to put the Phillips in the drill and just zip all your different hinges off. What I've been doing is I've been leaving the hinges in the cabinet with the screws so that I don't mix up those. Also, usually you guys know where your drawers are, but the faces, they kind of can get mixed up. So what I've been doing is just putting them in places that are all in sequential order. So here I have the doors, and then over there are the doors that go on the bottom and go that way. So there's my 2 double stack doors for there, my 2 double stack doors for here. We do have to paint these at some point, so I will mark them. And yeah, just took everything off. I'm gonna keep painting. I'll show you guys what I'm using. I'm using one of these foam rollers. It's coming out great. So I'm using one of these little mini foam rollers. That's what I'm choosing to use. And then I also have these little foam brushes. So I'm gonna use these foam brushes because the foam is giving us a really good finish. Like, I'm not getting that rollered finish at all. It's coming out really nice and smooth. So I'm gonna continue to do that. Any of these little small areas, I'm gonna use a foam brush. And yeah, just get it done, and I'll keep updating you guys with my progress, see how far we get. Also, I will note, if there's any areas like this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but see how I can scratch the surface off? These parts I'm scuffing. If it's a hard, clean, dry surface, like over here, I'm just essentially just painting it. But if it's any surface like this, where you can see for whatever reason, like the clear coat has gotten a little bit gooey or sticky, or maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just people's, hand grease from their hands over the years. This house is kind of new to me, but see how I can kind of scrape that off. In this case, I'm gonna end up sanding these parts, but like I said, any other part where it's a hard, clean, dry surface, I'm just painting it. So I got these little Scotch-Brite pads that I'm using for that stuff. Okay, so a long day of working. I would say probably about 5 hours I've got into this by myself. I'm tackling this thing by myself, you guys. I'm really happy with the results so far. So take a look, kind of explain everything. So I've been, taping everything off, making sure that I'm doing everything nice. And I'm pretty sure you guys can probably agree, like, this looks really good. And I'm not just, saying that because, with the camera, like, I really like the finish that this is presenting. So with that foam roller and the foam brush, like, it is coming out super smooth. So I still got another coat on this, but yeah, I mean, I went around this pretty much twice. I don't know. Yeah, I think I've rolled this twice, but I also, what I'm just doing now, just so you guys know, so what I did was I didn't completely take the rails out, but I unscrewed them and just kind of pushed them out of the way so I could get paint behind them. And then now I'm just putting them back and throwing the screw back in. And what I did is I just left all my hardware on the bottom so that I didn't forget where it went. And same thing, so I'll move that over, put my screws back in, because I don't need to paint behind there. I just want to get a little bit of paint behind there, at least so it's gray and you don't see that original color showing through. Also moved the fridge out. You're never going to see back here, but my OCD just wanted to get back there. And yeah, everything's coming out really good, you guys. So it's pretty much going to be a day's work. I haven't done anything with the faces yet, and I'm honestly, I probably still will. I'm going to at least attempt it, but I wouldn't even be upset with just leaving it this color and clearing over top of it. Like, it looks really, really good. So if I can't, I'm not the most artistic person, so if I can't get that, you know, weather staining look, that weathered look, if I can't get it on my test, you know, pass, if I try it, I test it and it doesn't look that good, then I'm just gonna probably clear coat this and I will be more than happy with the way this looks. So we'll see how she goes tomorrow. Other thing too is I also painted down below there, like that kind of baseboard area. So same thing, just tape it all off. Not rocket science, but loving the progress so far. Let's see how we do tomorrow. So it's the next day. What I'm doing right now is I'm just taking off all the faces off the drawers. So essentially, you'll see here, there's gonna be 2 screws. There is pin nails on the back, so I'm having to kind of just pry it off. So take out the 2 Phillips screws, pry it off, get the face off, and then I'm putting all my drawers back in, and I'm leaving that specific face plate off in that area. You can see here, so I could probably like label it here and label it there and then paint it. You're not going to see this section, so as long as I paint around that shadowed area where it butts up against there, I can number this, number that as I go along, so that you can kind of keep track of it all. So I'm going to get all those off. I'm going to put a drop sheet over top of this, and then I'm going to start painting all these doors and everything. Also have to take off our hinges so we can get that all good and proper. And then I'm going to clean these a little bit, and then we'll get some stuff on, because there's just, you know, different, like I was showing you guys yesterday, kind of all these need to be cleaned a little bit. So get everything prepped up, and then we'll get painting. So one other thing I did do was, just so I don't have to spend a ton of time later with the hinges and adjusting them, is I took off the hinges. I put the bottom one there, the top one up on the top, and I did that for every single one. So my bottom hinge, top hinge, and I just went around and did all that. Even on every single door or cabinet, top hinge, bottom hinge. And then the other thing I did, you guys, was on these ones, I just wrote on, like, you know, some sort of food, whatever box, you know, 14, 15. Over here, I didn't want to write on this stuff, so I just have these little sugar packs, 16, 17, 18, so that I know which one goes where. Because over here, you can write on the back of them, because we don't have to paint the very middle since they get attached here. But what I did on these was where the hinge goes, I just numbered them, and I numbered it so that I know what the top and bottom is. So I just numbered it facing upwards, so that as long as I'm reading this is the top of the door. And you can just see here, I did every single one. So they're all numbered, labeled inside there. So I don't have to worry about painting over my numbers, so I don't lose track of it. Now comes the boring part. I'm just gonna lay a big sheet over top of my island, and I'm just gonna start painting everything. So let's get it done. Here's the next not so fun process, you guys. I'm sanding off any tacky parts like I was showing you earlier. So just sanding it. I got some sandpaper, and I've got one of these Scotch-Brite pads, and like I said, any of the other surfaces, the hard surfaces, I'm not worrying too much about that as long as they're clean and dry. But like I said, any of the spots that were a little bit tacky, like you could kind of scrape off the old clear or the old coating, like here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see how I can kind of run my nail through it and scrape that junk off? That's what I'm sanding off. So just getting everything, like I said, clean, dry, and a nice hard surface, and then we'll be able to move on. All right. A few hours later, and I just finished sanding, and I blew these all off with the air nozzle. And now that is probably the worst part of this, you guys, is having to prep all the cabinet doors, because that's the part you're going to see the most. I got the air compressor outside making some noise. I'm going to start laying these out. You could probably, you know, lay them all over the place and try to paint everywhere, but I'm just going to do it up here, just so I'm not working on the floor and stuff. I could do it on that table, but I don't really want to mess up that table if I get a little bit of paint. I mean, now I have the sheet on it, but if it ever were to go through, it's pretty easy to scrape off of this surface, but over there is no bueno. So I'm gonna lay them all out, start painting the back sides and flipping them, and you guys know the deal. Nothing too rocket science on that. I'm just gonna paint all the backs with the roller, foam brush, and we'll see what the end result is. Now I'm just foam brushing all the edges where I can't get into with the roller. And like I said, this foam brush, foam roller is making things come out super smooth. So like I said, I'm not no expert, I'm just a DIYer like you guys, but I'm definitely liking the results. So just make sure when you're doing this that you don't leave like big blobs of paint. So anytime you put on new paint, you smooth it out so that you don't end up with lines and kind of blobs of paint in it everywhere. So just kind of blend it in. But yeah, that's how it comes out. You know, you'll probably have to go back and touch up some spots, but I mean, this is the back of the cupboard, so as long as it's presentable. But yeah, just gonna go ahead and do all these. Okay, here's where we are at, you guys. This is a lot of work, especially doing it by yourself. I think I'm gonna see how everything dries. This paint that I got is a matte finish. I was originally thinking maybe I would clear coat it, but it is so much work, and I really do think it looks really good. And I'm not just saying that on camera, like this is one coat, so I could probably do another coat on the face that you'll see. But again, like I'm really happy with the way it just looks like this even. So I could clear coat it, but I'm gonna see how it looks. These ones I have down, I didn't do the edges of them. I'm gonna go ahead and do the perimeters here. So I'm gonna do these inside edges, and then I'm actually gonna mount them, because what I'm finding is when you paint like this and you paint face down, like if you roll this, you have to watch out that you get the extra paint that rolls over the end, because if you don't roll the side, you'll end up with like a big blob of paint on the edge. So it's kind of a lot of work that way. So what I'm thinking, and the other thing too, is I'm painting the back first, but ultimately the face is the one that you want to have the best paint job on. So what I'm gonna do is paint the back portion. Again, we don't have to paint the whole back, but just, you know, kind of a strip, the outline that you can see there. Paint that, I'm gonna mount them, and then that way I can roll all I can do is I can pull the drawer out, I can roll the outside and roll the front like this without having to worry about you know, any sort of blobs running or stuff like that. And I can make sure I get a perfect paint job, because like I said, otherwise if you paint like this, you'll roll it, the paint will fall over, and then you're trying to paint here, and then if you get paint on here and then you set it back down, then all of a sudden you have a nasty big paint blob on your good visible surface. So it's kind of my theory behind it, but everything's coming out really good. Like I said, this is still a little bit wet, but it does have a really nice like matte finish, so same as you buy in the store. So I might just honestly leave it because I'm liking the way it looks, and to do a whole clear coat on everything seems like a lot of work right now. I'm into it for a better part of 2 full days, and I'm not even close to being done. So I'm thinking I might just single coat it, or not single coat it, but double coat everything in this color, and it's a matte finish. And like I said, pretty happy with the way it looks, so let's keep going. So right now, like I mentioned, I'm gonna screw all of these back on. So just the 2 Phillips screws. I'm gonna put them on, that way I can roll the drawer out, I can roll this, and I can roll the front, and it's suspended. I don't have to deal with the whole plastic scenario. So the backs of these, like I said, are painted, and I left my number. It's all blocked off. By the time you put it on, all you see is gray around the backside, which is what we want. So I'm gonna put those all on, and then like I said, we'll move on. I also did, just so you guys know, I have been using the same foam roller the entire time. I don't ask me why this turquoise color comes out of this paint, but I filled that cup, the Solo cup, with water, and I left this in overnight, and then this morning I just rolled it. And this roller was still usable all day, but I don't want it to, I want like a perfect finish on the face of the cabinets, obviously, and that one roller has been put in work. So it's like $3 from Walmart for a pack of 3 of these. So I just got a few more, and you can see it says smooth cabinets and doors. So I got a few more of those, which I will use once we get on to the next step. All right, so this is day 3, you guys, of one person doing their kitchen by themselves. So I mounted everything, I put all the hinges back, and like I said, putting them in the original spots made it a lot easier. So I got all that there. I didn't close any of the doors because I didn't want anything to stick, so I left everything open in this chaotic fashion. What I did find is I started last night trying to paint this, but trying to get into these little cracks and crevices is a lot of fun. So you have to keep going back, and I don't want to get like brush strokes in here and stuff. So I am cheating a little bit. I have this $15 Harbor Freight paint gun. I've never used it before in my life. I had it before. It's one of these purple ones. You guys can go check it out. I had it before with the intentions of maybe painting a car, but I never got around to it, and I figured I might as well just test it on something a little bit more insignificant like this. So I just did a test run, and it is super easy to use. You pretty much just set it up. It's got a little regulator here. You pretty much let your compressor go as much as it can, and then on here you regulate this to 60 psi at the gun. So I just tried it. I just put a little paint in there. I didn't thin it. I didn't do anything. It just started coming out beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna, the nice part is, since all of these have these like quick latches, I can just take them off. I can go ahead and throw it out there, just spray it quickly and then bring the door back in. Since the backside's all dry now, I can just do it that way. So I'm gonna do that. It's gonna save me a ton of time and mucking around and potentially making the faces of it look not as good, because back here is pretty simple, and the faces, like these parts, everything was flat, but getting into these crevices is a different story. So however you wanna tackle it, but like I said, I'm gonna use that paint gun on it. All right guys, so I definitely don't advise this or recommend it. It's kind of like do as I say, don't do as I do. But I just brought the paint sprayer inside, and as long as you're very controlled, you could probably, you know, sit there and tarp everything off. As long as you're, you know, not a dummy and you know exactly where your spray is going. I've just been spraying it in the areas that I needed. So went ahead and just sprayed the corners there, and I'm just doing this part here. So again, as long as you know where your spray pattern is, you can see it. Like if you just do it right there in the middle, you can see where it's actually spraying. So as long as you're, you know, cautious with that, I'm just spraying it on here. You want to lay it down wet if you use this method. If you just kind of sprinkle it on, like powder it on, you'll get a rougher finish. But if you kind of lay it on wet, it seems to be doing the job. So I'm liking the way it's coming out. It's coming out really good, but I'm just gonna keep plugging away and get this done. Okay, so a few days later, it's a bit of a mess right now, but I am mounting all the cabinets handles. So I got handles and I got this kit. So this is for the drawer. So this centers it here. So you put that on in the center, and then it has a template so that we don't have to go crazy with measuring, and we can get a sure fitment. And then also this is the one for the doors. So we're gonna have this, and it also comes with a drill bit. So we should be all set to go. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and drill out all the holes. Gonna be quite a few of them, and then here's all the handles. So I'm gonna get all that stuff on and show you guys what it looks like with handles on here. Dang, this is gonna look good, you guys. So this template is making quick work out of it. You literally just throw it on, mark it with a pen, and then you just go ahead and drill your holes. So pretty straightforward, and it took me like 5 minutes to do both of those. All right guys, it's the next day. This is what it looks like all said and done. Maybe I should hit the lights. Don't mind the kind of construction mess we got going on here, but I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. So super happy with how it came out. All the templates and stuff like that worked awesome. Everything's lined up. Yeah, really happy with the total outcome, you guys. So I'd say go for it. That's my first time kind of doing all this and really liking how it came out, but comment down below what you guys think. All right guys, so that's gonna be a wrap for this video. If you guys wanna see exactly how to install the handles, click right here or down below, and I'll show you how to install the handles specifically and all the stuff. I'll also link everything we used down below where you guys can check out those links. Let me know what you think of this kitchen. This is my first DIY kitchen. Let me know what you guys think of the whole outcome. So make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Super happy with the way this came out. I'll definitely be doing more videos on this channel, and we already have quite a few, but we're not stopping here. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.